Hey everybody, my name is Logan Wassel, this is EDC Kansan, and today we're going to acid etch and stonewash the blade on this Benchmade BUGOUT. Let's get to it. Okay, to start off, you're going to want to disassemble your knife. Today I'm using the Benchmade BUGOUT, and every knife is going to be a little bit different, so I'm not going to go into detail about how to take this guy apart. I do have another video where I go through that. Feel free to check out that video if you'd like, but I'm going to focus this one on just the acid etch and the stonewash. And to do that, let's head down to the garage. Okay, now that we are out in the garage, we are going to acid etch and stonewash this thing. A few things before we start. Make sure you have the proper personal protective equipment, PPE. For me, I've got some rubber gloves. Eye protection is also probably pretty good. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is acid, so just be careful. It's not gonna be too dangerous, but you don't wanna get it on your eyes. You definitely don't wanna get it on your skin, so just be careful. I have an old glass jar filled with some water. I'm gonna fill the other bit of it with the acid so I can get a diluted solution, save some of this stuff just in case I wanna use it later. It's just an old salsa jar from the fridge. And I'll just fill up the rest of it with the acid. Now I'm going to give one last really good cleaning to this blade now that I'm about to put it in. I also have some nail polish so I can paint off the parts that we don't want acid etched or stonewashed. Now the main reason of wiping off this blade one more time, and the main reason I'm using the gloves even for this part, is because I don't want any fingerprints, oil, grease, or anything on this blade, because those imperfections are going to come through in the acid etch, which is also a perk to stonewashing it afterwards, because once we finish stonewashing, it should hide any of those imperfections pretty well. You don't want the acid etch or the stonewash to have any effect on any part of the knife that touches other metal. Definitely the washers, otherwise you're not going to have a smooth opening and closing motion. And I also am going to get this back wall here, that way it doesn't damage the stop pin. That's one of the most important parts in the lockup, is getting it to stop there. You don't want it to wiggle at all. You definitely want to get all the parts that you can, but make sure you don't overpaint, because you don't want the blade, when it's closed or open, to have a missing finish. It's kind of a fine line you got to ride there between painting and not painting. Okay, after waiting 15 minutes or so, my nail polish on the knife is dry. I'm putting these gloves back on because I am going to wipe it down one more time with acetone just to give it one last clean. I was touching it with my hands to make sure it was dried. It's also very important, don't actually touch the nail polish with your acetone or it will rub it off. So when you're doing one last clean over, just make sure that you're only touching the actual blade of the knife. For those of you that didn't know, one of the main ingredients, if not sometimes the only ingredient in nail polish remover, is acetone. All right, now everything moving forward, you'll notice, is a similar kind of combination to a video done by Jeremy Sires over on YouTube. I'll link his video here, as well as on Blade HQ, and I'll link the video on their channel here as well. I kind of took from both of those videos and came up with my own process, and I think it'll work pretty well. And yeah, once you're at this step and everything's all clean, we just go ahead and dip it in the acid. I made the mistake of wrapping my spare string around the pencil rather than just cutting it to the right length the first time. And now I have to hold it. Here we go. Makeshift, but it works. All right, it has been about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, check it out for now. Yeah, it's definitely getting darker. I can tell it's not quite as dark as I'd want it to be though, so rather than wiping it off and checking for the color, I am gonna leave it in a little bit longer. Okay, it's been another 5 minutes, so we're at 10 minutes total, and I'm gonna pull it out again and see how it looks. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off and wipe it off and see if this is the finish that I want. You are going to need to wipe off the blade to tell exactly what color it is. You'll be able to get pretty close, but wiping off the blade will definitely give you a better idea. All right, we are making progress, but I'm gonna leave it in there just a little bit longer because I want a pretty dark finish on mine. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off, and then we can meet again once it's all finished up, and I'll let you know how long it took. Okay, it's now been almost 25 minutes, so I'm gonna take this thing out, wipe it off, and see how it looks. Much, much darker. Rinse it off in the water as best as I can. Now you want to do whatever you can to neutralize the acid. So you saw what I did. I dipped it in some water, I wiped it off. I'm also just gonna go inside and just rinse this off as best as I possibly can, just to make sure that the acid etch doesn't go any further than I want it to. This is what it looks like up close. Pretty good, I'm pretty happy with it. We are going to move on to the Stonewash. And it'll also hide any imperfections that you may have gotten in your acid etch. For the Stonewash, I have some ceramic polishing abrasive. This is just tumbler media. The quick and dirty way to do it would be just to get some container from your house, a Gatorade bottle, something like that, and just grab a bunch of rocks and stuff from the landscaping, from the backyard, and just shake that up in here. I got the actual ceramic abrasive though, just to give it a little bit more uniformity. In reality, it probably won't make that much of a difference. So same thing before with the string. You don't need to be as precise with this one. This is just for easy retrieval. So I dumped about half of this ceramic medium out of here. And that's just to give it some room to shake around, and then I put some water and some dish soap in here to give it some lubricant. Also, if you didn't think the edge on your blade was ruined now, it definitely will be once you're done with this. All right, that's been about 3 minutes total. Let's see how it looks. Wow, that is a great finish. I think I'm just gonna leave it right there, actually. So only 3 minutes of stonewashing will do you just fine. Yeah, this looks really, really great. Let me get you a close-up. Yeah, that looks really cool, really dark, really even stonewashing all the way through. All right, our next step, we're kind of in the home stretch here. We just need to clean off this nail polish. Also, if this wasn't obvious already, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area doing all of this. You are working with chemicals. You can see I'm in my garage. I have the doors open, letting in some fresh air. All right, now that I've got it all cleaned off entirely, let's just head back upstairs to the studio where we'll have it reassembled and sharpened. All right, I just got back up here with my BUGOUT and I finished assembling. I also sharpened the knife. Remember, you use whatever you'd like. I'm not going to go into that here because I do have separate videos for the disassembly, reassembly, as well as sharpening. Me personally, for this knife, I decided to use the Work Sharp combo knife sharpener since this does have serrations, and it turned out pretty well. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the Stonewash finish. I'll let you get a closer look there. I think it looks really tactical and custom is the important word here. That is the main function of this whole project, is just to give you a custom piece that just makes it a little bit more unique, and especially if you put your own personal spin on it rather than paying somebody else to do it, it just feels really, really great. Well, that's going to be it for this one. If you guys would like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at edc.kansan or just EDC Kansan on Vero. You can also like, comment, and subscribe right here on YouTube to see more content just like this. See you guys next time.